Hey there. If you're thinking about getting out there on the road with the big rigs and driving a rig, an RV, or even a bus, then have we got great news for you.
Southwest Truck Driver Training can get you trained and rolling in as little as 4 weeks. They offer lifetime job placement support. They have special military programs, a financial aid program, including grant applications, and so much more to offer you.
Plus, they're family-owned business right here in the Southwest. They have world-class training for Class A and B CDLs, hazmat endorsement training, RV training, and, of course, a refresher course if you need one. And did we mention they have 3 locations, which are Phoenix, Tucson, and North Las Vegas?
So we don't know why you're sitting there channel surfing on a TV when you could be learning to drive and roll down the road to earning a great living today.
Go to their website, swtdt.com, to learn more about Southwest Truck Driver Training to shift your career into high gear.
Tell them you heard about them on the 18 Wheel Talk podcast show. We love them. You will too.
Break 19 for radio check.
18 Wheels.
Welcome to the 18 Wheel Talk podcast show.
We're a podcast for truckers, about truckers, by truckers.
Coaching generations of drivers while guiding them on their path to success.
Fueling them with knowledge and passion for trucking.
Navigating the industry 1 mile at a time.
Start the revolution.
Oh, look at that. It's going. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, action. Welcome to the 18 Wheel Talk podcast show.
Yes, welcome.
Hey, we're often imitated.
Never duplicated.
Never duplicated.
The one, the only.
18 Wheel Talk podcast show.
Blue, green, big truck. That's us.
Woot, woot.
Woot, woot. What are we talking about today, Patrick?
Well, seeing that we are a podcast for truckers, about truckers, by truckers, and we try to educate and
Inform and entertain.
Coach the generations out there. Mm-hmm. We're gonna talk a little maintenance,
or as I call it, truckaluckal.
Truckaluckal. Well, it was
supposed to say
truck electrical maintenance,
particularly lights.
Today. We're going to talk lights.
Or in Janet's words, it's truckaluckal.
Truckaluckal. Because she was tripping over it earlier.
Tripping over my tongue trying to say truck electrical. Truckaluckal.
Truckaluckin.
Okay.
Truckalackal.
So, let's talk truckaluckal lights.
Let's talk truckalackal lights.
No, it's truckaluckal lights.
Truckalackal.
Anyway.
Anywho, welcome to the show.
Welcome. Thank you so much.
I'm Patrick. That's
I'm Janet.
Whoop, 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 whoop. All right, now we got that settled.
Oh, okay. So
proceed. Let's get rolling.
If you grew up around anything mechanical, maybe you took some classes, along the way, high school, junior college, whatever it is, you're probably familiar with some pretty basic auto electrical work. Maybe you just grew up in a garage like I did. Popping a few wires off your brother's car when he stole them off of yours.
Yeah. We won't get into that. That's an episode for another day.
That being said, it's come a long way since way back then, baby.
Yeah. 20 years ago, you could just clip a wire and wire the two back up, put a wire nut on, way to go.
When I was driving truck, if you had a problem, it was really easy to fix lights and fix a lot of stuff, but wow, things have really changed.
Oh, that's true.
And trucking companies, they really appreciate it, especially small companies. If you could fix a light, change a bulb, some of the basic stuff, even open up the dash where you're not the whole dash,
right? But where the gauges are,
and fix a gauge or fix a light in there. Mm-hmm. They appreciated stuff like that. If you had a wire that needed a little work on it, but
instead of jiggling it.
Yeah,
fix it.
Instead of smacking the dash a couple times.
Oh, I got to whack. Yeah, see, it works.
Well, I did that a couple times for a while until I managed to get stopped for, a weekend, and then I pulled it off and fixed it. But
there you go.
But meanwhile, I just kept smacking the dash so the gauges worked. Because my knee got sore when I tried it that way because
God
that worked
damn it, you're going to work.
I think you know me. Oh, my God. Were you in the truck with me?
I might have been.
I thought your name was...
Was I live or was it Memorex?
It was Taz. She told you all my secrets.
That's possible.
By that little stink paw. Anyway.
Your little Rottweiler.
Miniature, actually toy schnauzer. But
Toy schnauzer that had a Rottweiler bark to her.
she actually did. Not her fault, though. So nowadays, if you don't have proper certification to show you know what you're doing, you do not want to even consider opening up a dash. And most employers would probably chop your head upside or smack you upside the head. What are you doing? And if you're certified to work on a tractor trailer where you'd be home every night, why are you driving one unless you're making tons and tons of money?
Exactly. If you're not working on them, if you're not driving it, you should be working on them.
And if you're working on them, yeah, you shouldn't be driving them.
Well, you gotta have a license though to work on them. Go figure.
You gotta have a license for everything.
Mm-hmm.
But if
no. I mean, you actually have you have to have the license to drive the truck to be able to work on it.
Yes,
because you got to be able to move it.
I know.
That's what I was trying to get at.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
But then if you're an owner-operator, that's a whole different story. You want to pull the dash apart, that's on you, baby.
Yeah, it's all on you, brother. That's all on you.
So. You're up?
Oh,
no?
I am.
No? You want me to just keep on talking?
No, you're doing a good job.
So now you're discouraged from touching anything electrical on the semi after you thought you knew everything?
Well, I mean,
you don't.
You want to help out. You want to be the good boy and say, "Yo, boss, I fixed that light."
Well,
my last job, if the trailer light went out and I was on the road and I knew that somebody was going to pull me over, I would. If I didn't have an extra, if it was just a little wire,
all else
electrical
fails.
tape.
Yeah, all else fails electrical tape.
Chewing gum, wrap it in bubble gum.
I never.
But you know what I mean. You know?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Chicken wire bubble
gum.
So
this is where we backtrack.
Okay.
Because if you have you're good.
Okay.
Because if you have a decent working knowledge of the fundamentals of automotive wiring, or in this case, big rig wiring, there still are things that most employers are okay with especially if they're a smaller company. But don't forget, don't touch anything on that semi if it's not yours. Always check with your employer first, because some of them don't want you even. Don't touch a chicken light. Don't change a trailer bulb. Nothing. And don't.
I know some companies like my last company that I drove for.
Mm-hmm.
It was a leased vehicle.
Yes,
leased vehicle, leased trailers, and that's usually no. You don't touch it. We'll get the company to come out and fix it.
Well,
that and everything was LEDs.
True.
You don't want to mess around with that because one wrong little, and then now the whole trailer's out or the whole tractor's lights are out.
Now, see, we had leased tractors. Mm-hmm. We, unfortunately, owned the trailers.
Well, if you own it, then you can fuck it up all you want.
Not me personally, the company I was working with.
Right.
But they still had the maintenance contract. The company that did the trucks had the maintenance contract
some
for the trailers.
do that because depending on the size of the fleet, it's...
But then, if you're starting, like I did, at 3 o'clock in the morning, and you've got one trailer light, one out... And you want to be 200 miles away at 6 o'clock in the morning.
When I left the yard.
No, if you've got the bulb or the wiring or whatever to fix it, and take the 20 minutes to 10 minutes, whatever it is, and you can do it. Mm-hmm. You pulled out your flashlight, like we've got a flashlight.
Yeah,
and that was your cue, Patrick.
Oh yeah.
Like we've got a really good flashlight.
Really good flashlight.
Yeah, it's available on our website.
You can go to atmwheeltalk.com and. Click on the flashlight. It'll take you over to Amazon where you could purchase that said flashlight.
Yeah.
It's a rechargeable LED.
Yeah, it's better than mine that I had, but mine was
got
good.
Some good.
Mine was really good for hitting people. This one will be too.
It's got some good curl. Just smack the microphone with it. It's actually not bad. It's a good flashlight.
It
could probably double as a tire thumper.
I know it could double as a weapon if someone's coming after you.
So, yeah. I mean, for $40, that's not a bad light.
Yep. And so I'd take my flashlight.
We're going to be doing a review on this later.
Yes, we are.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
But if you're interested now, you can go to 18wheeltalk.com. Right there on the homepage. There's a
picture of it and everything.
Picture of the flashlight. Just click it. It'll take you there.
So I would prop my flashlight somewhere, nearby.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not magnetic. I used to get those magnetic ones that you can get from Harbor Freight.
Yep.
Stick it right to the side?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. I interrupted again.
It's okay, baby.
I'm sorry. Janice telling story time.
I'm not telling a story time. I'm telling how I worked it because we had
That's a story.
trailers we owned, tractors we leased, and even though they did the maintenance, it was quicker to spend the 15 minutes to fix the wire or the trailer light.
I agree.
Propping my flashlight up at 3 o'clock in the morning and fixing it than to drive 20, 25 minutes to where they were.
Right.
Go sign in there, wait
another
in
20
line.
minutes or so to get in,
20,
maybe hour.
Oh, if I could get in and out in an hour, I'd have been happy.
You know.
Wait, even though I was on the clock because I was hourly, wait 2 hours because my trailers were loaded. You couldn't just swap trailers.
Yeah.
Wait 2 hours just for a stupid
Just
light.
For a little light that you could have just
that I could have spent 15, 20 minutes doing.
You know, you have a spare one, you unplug it, you plug into the new one, and if it lights, guess what? Then the other one's bad. You pop it out of the holder, pop the new one in the holder, plug it in, and go.
Yeah, and we had some older drivers that I remember Al. He was really helpful. I got one hair bugging me.
I'm sorry, I don't have that problem.
That's okay. But anyway, we had an older driver named Al that when I remember one time that the trailer light was really just giving me grief. I couldn't find where it was bad. Mm-hmm. It wasn't the bulb. I was trying to find the wire and everything, and it's like it would flicker, and then it would fine, and just couldn't find it. And he was leaving about the same time. There was 3 of us, Al, Chuck, and I, that left at the same time.
Okay.
And Al came over, and he's messing with it. And then Chuck came over, and he's messing with it. And between the 3,
you're all messing with it.
Yeah, but between the 3 of us, we found it, and it was just like in one of the clamps that held it up to the bottom of the trailer.
Oh, the fault in the wire?
Yeah, that's where the wire was, and we're like, okay, that's where it's at. And I had the wire, I had another clamp, I had everything, and we just snipped both the ends, put a piece of wire in, and used the little twisty thingies, and
wire nuts.
That's it, the wire nuts.
Uh-huh.
And then
wire nuts, electrical tape.
And then Al took electrical tape and went from the right before one wire nut and wrapped it all the way past the other one and snapped it right back up there to the trailer.
Yeah.
And I was good to go. And I know that
and it
sounds
lasted longer than the rest of the wiring.
Probably. And that sounds like it took us forever, but I think start to finish, it took the 3 of us maybe 10 minutes.
I was going to say 10, 20 minutes tops.
Yeah, tops.
Tops, yeah.
You know?
That's the big.
But that's also teamwork.
But that's also the bulk of the time is spent
finding
the cause.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because that was the only spot where we moved. Every time we moved near that one spot, and he's like, well, I'm not going to find the exact. Just clip both ends and we'll find. And he kept saying, do you have more wire? Do you have more? I'm like, here's my electrical kit. You've seen the electrical kit that I think it's out in our garage.
It might be. I know I had one.
Yeah, so that's, they appreciated stuff like that because it was a smaller company.
Save them,
I should say it was
money.
A really big company, but it was a smaller location.
Right.
And the company allowed each location to run like a small company would. Uh-huh. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, to save money and
do what you got to do.
Yeah, they weren't really big on we're a big corporation. You got to bang, 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 bang.
No way.
They did have their rules and regs for corporate, but stuff like that they let you do,
Right.
And like I said, smaller companies are going to let you do some things and they're going to appreciate it. And we did some basic things. And when I worked for the over-the-road company, that's where I learned a lot of the stuff. And they let you do some of the basic repairs, and if you know some of that stuff, it can be easier to find and keep a job even now.
Well, yeah. It's like I've pulled into like a rest area and did a walk around before I went in.
Which you're actually supposed to do.
I always did a walk around before I went into the restroom. And I noticed there was a light out, so I shut the truck down, go into the restroom, so that way I didn't wet myself.
I almost spit my drink out.
And then I'd come out and I'd check it. If I could fix it, great. Otherwise, I'd get on the horn to the boss, say, hey, I got XYZ is out, whatever light it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't figure out what I think it's in the harness, but I'm not a mechanic.
Yeah.
I don't tell that. I think it's in the harness, but I'm no mechanic, so you might want to send somebody out that is one.
Yeah. Now, I don't know how DOT is now because I haven't driven since 2009, since my accident.
But
I know it used to be if you had like one light out or one light flickering, they'd give you basically like a fix-it.
like a slap on the wrist.
They'd say, okay, you need to get this fixed.
I
could get pulled in and I'd say, okay, I've traced, I can't find it, I've replaced the bulb. I'd even pop it and show them, here's the new bulb. I'm not finding it, and I'm on my way back to the terminal, and they'd say, get it fixed.
If it was a marker light,
yeah,
that's one thing. If it was a tail light, turn signal light, then they're gonna knock you hard. If it was a marker light, hey, you got a marker light out, make sure you get it fixed.
But a lot of people don't know.
Because it's usually one on either end, 3 in the center. On the back.
Yes, but some of our trailers had, because we ran curtain sides, had a lot of marker lights at the top along the sides.
Right.
And if DOT wants to get picky, they can give you a fix-it ticket for every burnout bulb, and you're responsible to pay the fine for every burnout bulb.
Right.
So these people that have all these chicken lights, which I'm a huge fan of, nothing prettier than
pretty.
Oh man, these trucks that decorate for the 4th of July or for Christmas and everything, they're gorgeous. But any burnout bulb in that, they can get a ticket for. So if they've got 40 burnout bulbs, a ticket for every one of them. Oofta.
Oofta.
Yeah.
So,
as my brother would ask me, what's that mean? Well, it means oofta.
Oofta means hefty.
Yeah. Oi.
In any language.
Of course, I explain oofta by saying oi.
Hey, oi.
So, anyway.
A few things that you can still be done.
Last we knew.
You know. That most employers appreciate is like tightening down things.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
If you don't have a dash cam in your semi and you went and spent all that money on it, do you really think that you and your truck are protected against John Q. Public? We don't. That is why we recommend Rexing USA cameras and equipment. Whatever it is you are looking for, whether it be a dash cam, a body cam, a trail cam, or similar, they probably have it.
Nearly every new vehicle coming out has a dash cam, and there is a reason for it. Litigation. Yes, welcome to America, the land of litigation. So the best thing you can do is to protect what you own with video and pictures.
And their dash cams, boy, let me tell you, their cams do a lot. They have 170-degree ultra-wide angle lenses that will automatically lock in the last video if it feels a vibration from an accident. It has a supercapacitor battery backup that is better than lithium for extreme heat or cold. Add in loop recording, a mobile app, and parking monitoring, and more.
And yes, now you have a really great package for this company of cameras. So come on, check it out at 18wheeltalk.com/dashcam. That's 18wheeltalk.com/dashcam. Yeah, I like your batteries. I know some people don't know how to get to their batteries underneath the steps. To me, it was easy.
Yeah, it's a couple of rubber holders, and in your 2 handles, you pull the step off.
Yeah, my step kind of, you release the rubber, and then you kind of pushed in and
push and pull out.
Pushed in up and out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because the back of it had a hook.
Yeah.
So you had to unhook it.
So, but some people don't know that. And I don't know if that's something they teach now or not.
Honestly, I don't know. To me,
but that's where the batteries, at least that's where they were. I'm assuming they still are.
Yeah, there's usually a battery box.
And that's where my battery, but I'm just saying, that's where the battery boxes were. And, open up the battery boxes, there's your batteries. And like you said, tighten them.
Yeah, just,
tighten them.
You could tighten them up, making sure you got a good connection.
Mm-hmm.
If they're corroded, you can loosen them up a little bit and give them like a spritz of like WD-40 usually is a good cure. I used to loosen mine if it was a little corroded, spray it with some WD-40 and take like a little wire brush and kind of.
Do you know what works when you when you can't find your wire brush?
What's that?
Emery board.
Of course you'd have an emery board.
Well, of course I know where my nail kit is.
Goodness.
I might lose a tool, but I know where I don't lose tools very often, though.
But anyways, a little WD-40, spray it on the terminals, and then make sure your terminals are tight and have a good connection. That would allow for that, get a better connection, I should say, after cleaning it.
Okay, so I have to ask.
Okay.
How did you learn to clean battery terminals when you were a kid?
What do you mean?
How?
Who taught me, or
How? What method did they teach you?
when I was a kid?
Yeah, when you were a kid. How old were you when you learned to clean battery terminals?
I don't know. That was so long ago.
Oh, my God.
What? WD-40, the way I just said. Loosen it up, trace some WD-40 on it, tighten it back down.
Oh, okay.
Why? Why do you ask?
Oh, because in a pinch you could pour Coca-Cola on them. It cleans all the corrosion
Oh,
off.
that's true. Yeah, Coca-Cola.
If you don't have
eats rust.
WD-40,
Yeah.
Coca-Cola will clean all the corrosion off, and then you wipe it off with a rag, and
Yep.
it's clean.
Yes.
It's
I forgot. You're the home remedy queen.
of course. I don't drink.
To me, that's a waste of Coca-Cola.
I don't drink Coca-Cola, but
I
I've
don't
seen
either. But in a pinch, I might be thirsty. I'm going to drink.
But sometimes it's easier to find a Coca-Cola than WD-40. If you stop at a rest stop, there's bound to be a vending machine with a
Yes.
soda similar to Coca-Cola.
Yep.
Vending machines don't have WD-40.
What?
Last I knew they didn't.
Wow. We need to put a vending machine
Zip,
together.
zip, zip it, zip, it, zippy.
We're gonna bleep, bleep, bleep. That's got bleep, bleep,
So
bleep.
clean all your battery posts is what we're saying. Then retighten them down. That's one thing you can do. Sometimes you're going to find you need to retighten up your starter posts.
No, I never did that.
I've done that before.
Only
Yeah.
because that, the batteries, that's nothing. The starter, that's mechanical. That falls under, it would have fell under the lease.
Yeah, but when you're out on the road and you know.
Hey, if you're doing a pre-trip and a post-trip, and you catch this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
usually you can, if you catch it at a post-trip and you let the boss know, by the time you come back in and do a pre-trip, it's fixed. If not, you tell the boss.
But
Anyways,
when you're over the road, and I had this happen to me, and you have something go wrong,
yes,
and you're on, say, I-80 in Ohio,
okay.
and the nearest Peterbilt shop that has the parts you need,
Mm-hmm.
you have to jury rig it to drive all the way down to Cincinnati.
Okay.
Do you know how far it is from I-80 to Cincinnati? I don't know the mileage. I just know it takes a hell of a long time.
I could look it up.
When you're fully loaded, you're going all the way down to Cincinnati when you're supposed to be going to Chicago because you need a part.
If you got the truck running,
I did because I rigged it.
Don't turn it off.
I know, but I was told to go to Cincinnati and get my
know.
truck fixed first.
I know. That's
Luckily,
crazy.
I wasn't hauling chocolate, but I had a reefer on it, so it didn't matter. But
You did reefer?
I did reefer.
Was it green?
Nah, some days. You had to know how to fix that, too. So anyway,
Anyways.
so you can apply dielectric grease to the connections to prevent corrosion, or as he said, WD-40.
WD-40.
And
Little double do you.
Yeah, it keeps the connections better. And
WD-40 is like the miracle spray. Every truck driver should have a can in their truck or handy, because you go to open the back door of the trailer, spray the hinges.
Mhm.
You know, it'll never happen again. When you go to latch your door shut, if you got those sprayed nice, they will never fail you. Unless the load shifts and it's leaning on the back door. Then it's a pain in the ass, no matter what. Anyways.
And the home cure for that would be Vaseline. So, anyway.
Yes.
Of course.
The home cure is Vaseline.
I'm always going to be me.
I'm not saying you not to be.
When you don't have the right tool, you have the other tool.
If you don't have W, you
There's
got
always
the V.
Whatever,
If
Patrick.
you put it together, you got the V dub.
You have Vaseline because you work up north in the winter without gloves and your hands get dry.
Yes, chapped.
And chapped.
Takes
And-
away the chappedness.
Yes. And it also works on squeaky things like
Yes.
your doors.
Yeah.
So,
Uh-huh.
you can change out blown fuses.
You can.
Yes.
Where's the fuse box?
In the truck.
No kidding. Where?
It's in the dash. It's
Where?
like up and under on the right-hand side.
On the
That's where mine
passenger
was.
side.
Yeah, up under behind the
It's usually
glove
the big
box.
panel that comes out right there.
Yeah.
Big panel of shit.
So,
Anyways, I was just checking.
I kept fuses.
I was just
I
checking.
knew what fuses I needed for my truck
Mhm.
and for my reefer.
Roofa.
And I kept a supply of fuses and a good fuse puller because I didn't want to break a nail.
Yes.
And
God, if she broke a nail.
and sometimes fuses get a little ornery when
She
you're
gets
trying to pull
girly
them.
when her nails break.
And it's still a DOT requirement.
God, she didn't hear that.
I heard it. I'm just ignoring you. God bless America, Patrick.
I'm just making sure you're still awake over there.
So
Anyways, go for it.
it is still a DOT requirement to keep fuses in your truck.
Yeah, you have to have spare fuses. At
Yes.
least one of each type that's in the fuse box.
Correct.
So if you
Even
got-
though
if you
most
got a
trucks
40
now have circuit breakers.
If you got a 40 amp fuse that's like this freaking big, you better have a replacement in case that baby goes.
Yeah. Even though most trucks now have circuit breakers, you still have to have
Yep.
fuses because they're going to have a circuit breaker, but some of the things that are in the truck run on fuses.
Yes, I agree.
And so people say, oh, I got a circuit breaker. I don't need fuses.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do. You need them.
So
You need them.
you can still do things like we talked about, like changing out a marker light.
Uh-huh.
A regular headlight, easy to change.
Yeah, the
LED light.
LED is a little different.
I won't even touch them because if it's an LED light, it probably is something electrical in the harness of the wiring.
Yeah, LEDs aren't.
They're not known
That-
for going bad.
Yeah, but they're not. Changing them out is not that different than changing out a regular bulb
But they're expensive. Too
Yeah.
expensive
Oh,
to keep
yeah.
a spare.
for the most part.
And you don't blow them that much. And if you're going through LED, say your left headlight, your left dim light's going all the time,
Yep.
something's wrong with
Yeah,
your
oh,
truck.
yeah, definitely. There's a problem. There's an electrical problem.
Kind of like
Or
my,
somebody put their finger on the bulb when they put it in.
yes,
That's
you
a
can't
that's a
do.
no-no.
Yeah, you can't do that because then it's going to go.
Yeah.
You can replace chicken lights, marker
Buck, buck,
lights.
buck, buck, buck. Anyways,
I'm always going to call them chicken lights. I know they're called marker lights.
if you're new to the show and you're like, what the hell's a chicken light? All right. Janet and I combined have over 40 years experience in the industry. All right. I've been driving since early 90s. And Janet's been driving.
I've been around trucks my whole life.
Yeah. So what a chicken light. All right. There's marker lights.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The marker lights are the original lights that came
On a truck.
on a tractor or the trailer.
They're like the outer corners, the center ones.
There's usually 3 lights in the center,
Mhm.
and then one on either side of the
Yeah.
cab for
But on
marker
the
lights.
yeah, but
And
on the trailer,
same on the trailer.
Yeah.
It's usually top front part of the trailer is usually one on each corner,
Mhm.
and then on the back you got the 2 outside red lights, and then 3 across the center.
yes.
Okay. Now, some companies or some owner operators like to add extra lights. So instead of just the 5 they have, now they got 10
Or more.
or more. So I've seen them go across the top of the cab. I've seen them go down along the air cleaners, along the running boards, around the grills. Any extra light that's put on is called, quote, chicken light, because they're usually little, small, individual lights, and they're bright as hell because they're LED.
And they're real pretty.
Oh, they are. They are.
When you see a truck running with all its chicken lights lit at night, it's gorgeous.
So anyways, that's my explanation to the new people as to what a chicken light is. It's an extra light that's added that isn't original equipment.
It's just like people adding chrome. If you own your truck and you want it to look nice, you put those chrome stacks on.
Put,
you
you put the
chrome everything
air
up.
cleaners, you chicken light
You've
it.
got if you want to go really good, you got the bumper that lifts up when you're driving and drops down when you're parked for the night, full of chicken lights on. Man, that's a gorgeous truck when
That's
you've got
pretty.
that handed.
So, anyways, that's my explanation of a chicken light. If I'm wrong, I apologize. If you want to correct me, you can go to 18wheeltalk.com. Along the top there's a tab that says Ask the Show, and you can hammer me with questions. Go for it. I don't care.
Or if we're wrong about chicken lights,
That's what I mean. If I'm wrong about chicken lights, just let me know.
yeah.
Let me know. Ask the Show.
Tell the show.
It's the Ask the Show tab.
Correct.
And you tell me, send me a message.
So you can replace
I can take
marker lights. You can replace chicken lights. typically. But like I said, whoever you work for, check with them before you touch anything on your truck in terms of fixing, replacing, wiring, anything like that.
Uh-huh.
Because some companies have a do not touch policy.
Yeah, like I said,
They expect you to be a steering wheel holder.
Because of the fact that it's a leased vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And if you start screwing with that or any extra that isn't added by the lease company,
Yes.
then you could void the lease and in turn not have a truck to drive.
Correct.
So that's why a lot of places will say, no, don't do it. So that's why we didn't do it on ours.
Yeah. So we also have in my electrical kit that I kept, I also kept those heat shrink for wiring.
Yeah, heat shrink tubes, yeah.
Tubes. I couldn't think of but the heat shrink tubes are also real handy.
Yeah, because I don't know any truck driver that actually didn't smoke back in the day. So everybody had a cigarette lighter. And if you didn't, you at least had a cigarette lighter in your kit somewhere.
Oh, I never smoked. I drove, fuel.
I didn't smoke. The cigarette smoked.
Yeah. Nope, not me. So
that was the truck driver's alarm. You know what a truck driver's alarm clock is, right?
When your fingers burn.
You light the cigarette and you wedge it so far down so that way when you feel the heat from the cigarette, woohoo! I don't know what that was, but damn.
Well, that was perfect timing is what that was.
Okay, on to the next one.
So,
on to the next segment.
Anyway, you can find the heat shrink coverings in electrical kits, and if your electrical kit doesn't have it, you can find the little bags with different sizes in it.
Yep.
They're very handy to keep on hand.
Any truck stop, auto parts store, Walmart, grocery store.
When you're putting your stuff in a truck, your normal, your TV, your whatever you're watching. For your electrical stuff, whether you're putting a microwave in your truck or whatever, it's good to have stuff like that on hand in case you accidentally strip a wire on your own stuff.
Well, yeah.
Well,
I always had a roll of electrical tape.
Yeah.
And I used to keep like an old little instant coffee jar.
Mm-hmm.
And in the instant coffee, that's where I would keep wire nuts. All different sizes.
So like my espresso jar.
Yes, similar to that.
I keep stuff in the espresso jar.
But, instant coffee. One spoon, 2 spoons, stir it in hot water, because a lot of... Okay.
Yes, I know.
This is pre-pod coffee.
I made coffee in my truck, but I didn't make... Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Some people used to have just a hot water maker.
Yes.
Okay. Add a couple of spoons. That's what I said. That's instant coffee. You can find it at any goddamn truck stop.
It's nasty.
Like that Sanka packets.
Okay, so let's go on.
So, anyways, I used to keep wire nuts and electrical tape. So if I had to do a quick fix, I had the necessities to do it.
Yes.
I didn't have shrink tube.
I had shrink tube.
So that was like the new technology.
So
it was prior to me growing up. Anywho,
I want to talk about pigtails.
All right. What about them?
I like pigtails.
They look cute on you.
Why, thank you.
I like it when you put your hair up on pigtails.
Especially since it's so long.
I know, right?
Pippi Longstocking, I is.
I would put mine up in pigtails, but it doesn't look good on me.
I'm going to buy you a wig, I swear to God.
It doesn't look good on me.
I'm going to. So.
All right, what about your pigtails?
One problem that drivers don't check to make sure is that the pigtail is in tight.
Okay.
Because if it's not tight, it vibrates, and then your lights flicker.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of hard to describe without visual, but when you put your pigtail into the trailer, if it angles down at all...
It's a female end.
Yes, but I'm not talking about that part.
No.
When
you're plugging it into the trailer, you're plugging the female into the male end because the male end's got the pins. The female does not.
What I'm talking about is if the end
basic health class. Anyways, go ahead.
When you get it plugged in,
yes,
if it angles down, it's too loose.
Okay,
it shouldn't angle down because I've seen.
It also depends on how the
outlet
is mounted.
Yes. in comparison to the outlet is what I'm talking about,
okay.
Patrick.
Okay, don't be a girl
You
now.
describe it. It's all on you.
Well, I mean, if it is, listen, when you open the flap, you push the plug in, the flap has a little locking mechanism on it. When the flap comes down, if it doesn't lock it in place right, and it's got a little droop to it, there's a problem. Okay.
What if
continue.
there's no locking mechanism?
Then you shouldn't use a trailer.
Or what if it's broke?
Bungee cord.
Bungee cords are too big.
What do you mean bungee cord's too big?
Yeah, they're too big.
Says who?
Me.
Oh, okay. Well, because what I would have done was I'd have taken a bungee cord, wrapped it around the pigtail, because it's got that those two little finger pullers. I'd have wrapped it around there and ran one up one way, one up the other way on either end of my reefer.
Okay. Oh, you drove reefer too?
No, but we had a bunch of reefer trailers that didn't work.
Okay, so first of all, what I would do is I'd go get some of those hard paper towels that's out of the fuel island.
Mic drop. Anyways, yeah, I'm listening.
Because it could just be that both ends are dirty.
Okay.
So I'd go get some of those hard paper towels, the type you don't want to wash your face with.
Yeah.
And I'd clean both ends. On the end from the truck, you push it down in gently, and you get it, and you're going to find a bunch of gunk down in there.
Yeah.
Okay? On the end that's in the trailer, you're going to push it in with either a screwdriver, or if you've got fingernails, your fingernail, and get it down in there. And in the prongs, there's a little slit.
Okay.
You
Each pin.
Each pin. That's what I said. I call them prongs. You call them pins.
Tomato. Anyways.
Has a slit.
Okay.
You need to make sure those slits, cuts, whatever you want to call them, are clean. If they're not clean, you need a very small screwdriver or very small nails, like fingernails, not like a nail, to clean in between them. And if they're still not connecting good, once you get it all clean, don't use any chemicals in these connections, by the way, just a dry paper towel. Then use the screwdriver and open that up just a tiny bit, and it'll make it connect a little better.
Yeah. The pin.
Then what I did, if it still felt like it was loose, is I took zip ties and connected the two ends together using zip ties. I didn't use a bungee cord because it's got the hooks right there.
On the pigtail.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I zip tied here and here and went around so it was right, all nice and close, and pulled it real tight.
Okay.
That's how I did them.
Well, say my fist is the pigtail.
Okay.
My chain on my wrist is the bungee cord around this.
Okay.
All right. So that way, when I pulled on the bungees to hook it, it's pulling the pigtail into the trailer.
Okay.
That's how I did it.
Well, and I get that.
Okay.
But the bungee cord's going way out.
Yeah. Well,
zip-
I would hook it wherever I could to get it to,
I get that.
hold that pigtail.
Yeah, I kept zip ties, and the zip ties were right up next to the
I got you.
connectors.
Because sometimes you got nothing to connect it to. I said sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. You figure your way out.
Yeah. Oh,
You know?
yeah. I mean,
So
if
that's
you got,
just how I
like
did
I said,
it.
if you got the flap, if the flap's there, you could zip tie it around there. It should.
Yeah, I always went for the
Anyways.
closer to the trailer. I zip tied it around there. If I had to, I put a ring around the spot on the trailer that held the flap because it always had a ledge.
Right. You had a little lip.
So I'd put one zip tie there, and then I'd take the other zip ties and go underneath that ring and around.
Oh, I got you.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
To form like my own little
Your own little
belt,
harness. Yeah.
harness, whatever you want
I
to
got
call
you.
it, to get it so it
Oh,
stayed.
that's a good idea.
Because
I didn't
once you
even think
have
of
it,
that. I didn't
I
think of
could
it.
draw it for you. But once
No,
you
no,
have it up there and tight,
I got it.
you know that it's not that connector. Now, yes, when you switch trailers, you're going to have to snap 3 zip ties, but zip ties aren't exactly
Usually you got a pair of cutters and
Yeah, and they're not
or
exactly
a knife
expensive.
or something.
And most loading docks, if your company owns their trailers, you can usually get like, hey man, can I get a couple dozen zip ties? I use them to make sure my pigtails are tight, and they'll give them to you.
Yeah.
But
like I said, sometimes it could be just a matter of just like putting just a little space in all those little pins.
Yeah.
That'll help tighten it up when you plug it in.
But if you make the space too big,
Yeah, oh yeah, then it's a bitch. But it's not much.
Yeah, it
it's just a
doesn't take
little. It doesn't take a lot.
That's why you got to keep those tiny little screwdrivers that are about,
And
4 inches long, the one that everybody says they have no use for.
So I recently found out there's actually a wedge that you can stick in there now. If you got a little play in that, there's a little wedge that'll
Oh, yeah.
stick in the bottom.
Someone made those.
We used to use paper clips.
Really?
We would take a paper clip, straighten it out, and slide it in. And just enough, that little paper clip. We would take a paper clip.
You're ruining one of my blue ones?
And just stick this little end into the pigtail, where the pigtail plugs in.
That would never have occurred to me.
I saw somebody do it. I'm like, that's what the paper clip's for, because there was always a paper clip hanging in the truck, and I'm like, so that's what the paper clip's for. Never dawned on me, because I always figured out a different way. I always MacGyvered it myself.
Zip ties is what I used. I used hair ties on one because I was out of zip ties.
Hey,
it
whatever
looked
works.
very pretty going down.
Whatever works.
When I stopped at the fuel island, drivers would go by me and kind of look at the trailer, and because I had like one pink and one purple and one yellow. Hey, it worked.
It worked. It works. I forgot where we are. All right, we talked about that.
We're at the bottom there. Things you have to be mindful of.
Ooh, pardon me. I didn't mean to belch in everybody's ear.
It's okay. Like aftermarket LED lights.
Okay.
Yeah, boy, if it's aftermarket and you don't own that truck, be real careful.
Of course.
It's just wow. Hardwiring your own power inverter, I never recommend, not even if you own your own truck. Not on a new truck.
Yeah, because there's too many different.
Yeah, it's because
if it's going in for service, have the service. See if the service people can do it.
And they will. They're going to charge you, but it's worth it. And the reason I say that is because on new trucks, you could have one set of wires in a harness that you think does one thing. Like, say you think, oh, this just goes to lights.
If you're going to direct wire it into the battery,
you go through everything goes through harnesses now. You can't direct wire anything.
Well, no. What I'm saying is that if you're going to hardwire your power inverter, I would just hardwire it to the damn battery.
Okay.
One on the positive, one on the negative. Voila, bada boom, bada bing.
So you're going to draw directly off your batteries?
Yeah. Why not? They're going to be recharging when driving. All right. If you plug it into the cigarette lighter, are you drawing off the batteries?
Well, yeah. But
okay, so why wouldn't you just wire it directly into the battery?
Because if you go through the wiring harness like a mechanic would do, you're going to have protection on your battery from any surges, and you're going to have protection on your power inverter from any surges from the engine.
That's why there's an inline fuse on the positive line on a power inverter when you hardwire it.
Yeah, but
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
So you say you like tools. Now, are we talking about normal people like them or Tim the Toolman Taylor like them? Because if you're like the two of us, it is definitely in the Tim the Toolman Taylor's range. I have never been bored when shopping for tools.
So here's what you do. Head on over to 18wheeltalk.com/JBTools. It will take you to their site, which will normally give you a discount, a chance in a giveaway, join the rewards club, or something really great like that.
Then start browsing to your heart's delight. Whether you're looking for power tools, hand tools, 25-ton jack stands, or gardening tools, they have got you covered.
So take a few minutes and follow the link, 18wheeltalk.com/JBTools, and jewel over a few tools while you're there.
I just have never...
Okay, no,
I've always taken them in and having them hardwired. Is what I'm saying.
I understand what you're doing, but like I said, if I own the truck, I would just directly wire it into the battery, and I'd put an inline fuse on it. Yeah,
all I've ever done is gone into service and said, "Can you put this in for me? Here's where I want it in the truck."
That's the easy way.
Yes,
I'll even pay for
so
you
much
to do it.
easier.
You're going to tear it apart anyways.
That's what I always tell them. You're going to tear everything apart anyway. Why you got it apart? Can you throw this in there for me?
That's the smart way to ask.
Yes.
Could you wire this in?
Since
for
you're
me?
going to have it apart.
Could you at least run this wire for me?
Yeah, right.
Please.
So, but if you're using one of those.
Anyways, I didn't mean to like strike a nerve.
No, I was just like, I never thought about it like that.
I understand, but
it's not that. It's just I never thought about hardwiring it. I mean,
because they do have those like little fuse packs that are wired directly into the line that you pull.
No,
the
and
fuse
see,
out,
I get it because I think nothing of hardwiring the charger to the motorcycles.
Yeah, the yeah.
I just had a brain drain.
I know the trickle charger.
The trickle charger to the
whatever you call it, the thingamajigger.
Yeah, that thing. I think nothing of wiring that to the motorcycle, but then the thought of wiring something myself to the battery on the truck. It's like I never thought about that.
Yeah.
It was always just
because there's a built-in fuse on that.
Well, yeah, and it was just take it right into the. I'm having other work done here. Can you throw this in?
Exactly.
And they rarely charged me much.
Sometimes they're like, "Hey, I'm going to have it apart anyways. It's not going to take me long. It's not going to take me long to undo this screw and screw it in. I got you."
That's what they always told me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an easy job. I'll just do that while I'm doing everything else.
Yeah.
Sometimes it never showed up on the bill.
I wasn't trying to, ruffle your feathers or anything.
You
comes easy with me.
I just never thought about it. But
sorry,
if you're using one of those inexpensive off-the-shelf inverters that you find at truck stores or something like that, and your breaker keeps disconnecting, the solution is not to use a higher rated fuse. If your fuse says it's going to be a 10 amp, don't go buy a 20 amp and put it in there.
Yeah, because that don't work. You're just frying the board in there.
Yeah, you're frying the board or catching your truck on fire.
That's probably
lighten the load on your inverter.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever the load says for your power inverter, we got one in the other room.
Yeah, if you got your microwave and your TV going at the same time,
run one, not both. It's like blowing a fuse or blowing the breaker at your house. If you blow the breaker at your house, you ran too much.
You can't
turn something off.
You can't do laundry and then cook a turkey in the microwave. I'm just kidding. I'm just throwing shit out there. Okay.
Who would turkey? I know there's. So getting a larger capacity inverter isn't the solution if it's something you're going to plug in, because you can only do so much in a 12-volt port.
Right.
The cigarette lighter.
Yeah.
Can't.
I know they're called ports now.
Yeah, I know it. It's a port.
The old cigarette lighter outlet.
Yeah. Sorry, ashtrays and cigarette lighters went away.
Yeah, I know. They don't put them in no more.
Boy, they put them back in. I'm going to go get my CDL again and go drive so I can smoke.
Let's do it.
Okay. And I'm back to making faces at you. So the small ones have a limited application.
Right.
So when you overload them or bypass that built-in protection or bypass the onboard circuit protection, it's always going to end badly.
It is. You're going to melt wires.
Yeah.
You could cause a fire.
Yeah.
I personally don't recommend it, but you do you.
Yeah. I like those. They're very handy.
What, power inverters?
Yeah, the small ones.
Oh, yeah.
They're great for what they're made for.
Yeah.
I had one that I plugged in to the extra cigarette lighter, I'll call it. It was a port, but the extra cigarette lighter. And I plugged it in, and I had my coffee pot that I used it for. Okay. And then I used it for my other water pot, which is what I used when I needed hot water to put in my crock pot.
Right.
Because that's what I used.
Right.
I'd get the water hot, put it in my crock pot, and put everything in my crock pot.
You had a crock pot that plugged into it?
Yeah, and plugged in, and then I was fine. Then if I wanted more coffee, I would turn my crock pot off. It's going to stay warm for a while. Mm-hmm. Plug my coffee pot in and make coffee, and then swap them.
But yeah.
I could make coffee while I was going to the bathroom and walking my dog and come back out and swap them back out, and I'd be good. Coffee's in the thermos, crock pot's going, poof, I'm on the road.
Bada boom, bada bing.
Bada gone.
No fires.
Yeah.
So anyways.
Yeah, I think we already mentioned adding a whole new string of chicken lights.
Did we?
Well, we didn't talk about adding them. We talked about replacing a bulb.
Well, yeah, and it ended up being. But you also want to look for the UL code.
Oh yeah, on
the inverters.
On the power inverters. Yeah, I forgot about that. That's what I
tested and approved. Underwriter Laboratories.
I always forget that. I always
look
think
for the UL 458 mark.
I always think it's the underwater laboratories.
Yeah, underwater.
The underwater laboratories.
And if you're in Canada, it's CSA, I believe.
Oh, there you go.
So, just a little tidbit knowledge.
Tidbit knowledge.
Little one. Little nugget for you.
That big.
In case you were wondering.
That big.
Oh, that big.
So, now you got me wondering what color to do my nails tomorrow.
Anyways.
Anyway, if you're adding on a whole string of chicken lights, think about it.
Adding in new gauges or switches on the dashboards.
Which you would need to run those chicken lights because all those lights don't go on one switch.
If you own the truck, hey, I say go for it.
Yeah, me too, man.
If it's a lease truck, make sure you talk to your company. Have the mechanics do it.
Yeah, so
especially if it's something that's going to be needed.
So I want to address lease trucks.
Okay.
A lot of people go to a company to become an owner-operator that leases a truck through a company.
Okay.
Because you are an owner-operator.
Uh-huh.
You still have to, set aside money for your taxes, your road taxes, your quarterly taxes, your all of those taxes.
Okay.
And then they go and they chrome the truck up and they buy the new CB and they buy the chicken lights and everything else. I know you know who I'm talking about. But I'm not really talking about that.
Okay.
But they spend all their money on that.
Uh-huh.
And then they end up broke and they forget to make their truck payment.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to make the payment first.
You got to make the payment first. And the thing that most people don't realize is, say you quit the job.
Uh-huh.
Say you're leased to Hogan.
Just pick a company.
Just pick a company. You're leased to 18 Wheel Talk.
You're leased to Schneider. You're leased to JB
there
Hunt.
you go.
You're
You're leased to Schneider, and you're leasing a truck, and you've been with them for a year, and you still got a couple years left on that lease.
Uh-huh.
And you decide, I think I want to go over to JB Hunt. I'm at Schneider. JB Hunt's offering me a better deal. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to stop this lease, and I'm going to go over and be an owner-operator for them through a lease. When you leave, if you don't leave with notice and take all that stuff off yourself, they own it because you broke a lease.
Yeah.
Anything you leave in the truck is theirs.
It becomes their property.
It becomes their property.
Sorry, Charlie.
And if you damaged the truck putting it on,
they're going to charge you.
They're going to charge you. And if you are stupid enough to get the truck repoed, they get everything in it. Because that's how America works.
Shannon, you sound like you're talking from somebody that you knew somebody that might have been stupid enough to do that.
Yes, twice.
You know what? I didn't know we were doing story time.
Well, I was trying
I could have played like a little music tone, Well,
I was trying not to.
This way people know that it's story time. We could play
a little chime. Well, I could finish the story.
we could play a little chime that people know it's story time. They can lean in.
So do you want me to tell the whole story?
No, you don't. That's a whole nother...
That's a whole nother
podcast.
But if you are an owner-operator leased to a company, stop and think before you put extra stuff on, because if you leave the company, they get everything you put on.
This is true.
What I was trying to say before was, say you put chicken lights on your bumper and on your grill and on your stacks and on your trailer because you own your own trailer. Mm-hmm. Those are not all going to be on the same switch.
I know.
But they might not know.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
So then you're going to have to
try to wire them in.
You're going to have multiple switches.
And fuses.
And fuses. And if this is a leased truck, you still kind of, I would think
if you're drilling holes in the dashboard, you're leaving the switches.
Well, yeah, but wouldn't you want the company's permission for that? I don't know.
You would think so.
I would at least talk to them and say, I leased
you better
this
be.
Truck,
I'm sorry. It's like, if it's a lease truck, like I don't own it and I'm driving it and they're leasing it, I'm not doing anything extra.
Yeah, I'd put my CB and my whips
and if you're slip seating, I definitely wouldn't touch it.
Yeah.
And if you're not sure what slip seating is, that means like say I drove it during the day
and I drove it at night.
Janet would come in and drive that same truck at night. Like I would come back, do my post trip, and then she'd be right there doing a pre trip. Our trucks never sat still. It was like in and out. Boom, boom. Our trucks moved all the time.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, man, I had to write it up because I have bad tires. You got to be kidding me.
That's how it was when I...
Take it if you want, but I wouldn't drive on that tire. Look at it.
When I hauled gas and 6 oil, that's how it was.
Yeah. Slip seating sucks.
Yes, because if the driver ahead of you, especially gas and oil, leaves everything filthy.
Yeah, it's nasty.
It's nasty. I would bring a beach towel in to sit on, even though I was in work clothes. And I brought one of those big containers of Clorox wipes.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing I did was wipe the outside handle, open the door, wipe the inside handle, wipe the steering wheel, wipe the shifter, wipe the dash.
Wipe it down.
And then they'd say, why did your pre-trip take 5 extra minutes? And I'd say, because so-and-so left the truck filthy. And
I used to take
it got so bad that I did that. But then it got so bad that I would clean up all his garbage and put it in a bag and put it in his locker because nobody locked their lockers.
Uh-huh.
So I got in the habit of putting it in his locker.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
I'd have someone go check the men's locker and make sure nobody was in there, and then I'd go put it in his locker. But I'd keep my bag.
There you go. Oh, you dumped the bag? Oh, you dirty girl.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, because I left it clean.
Is there anything else you want to get off your chest?
No, except the reasons behind all the new rules.
You're like, no, I'm good.
You're the one that brought up slip seat.
I did. I'm sorry. I'm just, you're talking leased trucks. Well, I drove slip seats. So
I did too.
I didn't put anything extra on it. One of the guys I worked with put he put chrome lug nut covers and chrome hubcaps on. And every time the company would come out to change a front tire, they would fuck up his. I
remember that.
And I'm like, dude, why? Why do you do that? He says, oh, I don't know. You're just wasting your money, man. They're just going to toss it away. They don't give a shit.
Yeah, and I know an owner.
But it looks nice. It looked really nice, so I understood. I understood.
Yeah, I saw his truck. It did. And I know an owner-operator that did nothing to his truck.
Yeah.
Right off the line, threw in a CB, and that was it.
See, now me, I would at least... I'm a minimalist. I'm not a big... I like the chrome, like chrome stacks, like, chrome grill. I wouldn't go chicken like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But I would definitely do like the stacks, the steps, the grill, but and try what I would I would probably match the color of the rims to the color of the truck, and have like the chrome lugs.
Yeah, I did.
I think that looks sweet.
On the one company truck when I was over the road, they actually painted a caricature of myself and my dog on the side.
Nice.
Blondie and the squirrel.
Ah, the squirrel, the Rottweiler.
Mm-hmm. And then they did chrome lugs and painted rims to match my truck.
Mm-hmm.
And then my trailer that I pulled, because I always pulled the same trailer, they had the rims match everything. And then they painted the edge of the trailer because it was reefer, but they painted the edge of it to match.
Nice.
They did all that for me. I was in the truck asleep, and then my boss, on the lot, and my boss came and woke me up, and he says, hey, we did something special for you while you were asleep. And I'm like,
what?
Okay.
What?
And then he says, climb on out. And I climbed out, and he showed me what they had done while I was asleep in the truck, and I never heard any of it.
Well, you must have been tired.
I'd come back from Cali.
Yeah, you must have been tired.
Yeah. So anyway, I was telling you about the minimalist that I know.
Yeah.
He never even put a power inverter or a refrigerator. He put a CB in it. That was it.
I put a CB in. I put a refrigerator in. And I think that's about it. Refrigerator, CB, and I think I had a crock pot.
Yeah, mine had a refrigerator in it.
Because I always park at a truck stop. Mm-hmm. So when I was ready to go, when I woke up in the morning and I went in to use the restroom, I filled a 32-ounce big old
coffee.
Filled it up with coffee. Or I sat down and had breakfast, and because I got the bottomless cup of coffees, they would fill my jug. So I was always good that way.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Driver, if you haven't tried any of Mother Trucker Yoga's products, have we got news for you. The news is you are missing out on some great products that really do work. So you're probably sore from a long day and just don't know where to even start looking, right?
Well, driver, stop right there. You don't have to wonder anymore. These products were all designed with the professional truck driver in mind. And the Stiff Mother Trucker Pain Relief Cream is 100% natural. As in, all the junk that you don't need on your body is not in it. It is paraben-free, gluten-free, sulfate-free, and artificial dye-free.
Probably made right here in the USA. Road-tested, trucker approved.
It relieves sore muscles, soothes pain and inflammation from bee stings and insect bites. It calms that back pain from driving those long, hard roads, helps alleviate foot pain, helps reduce wrist pain, elbow pain, and stiffness in the neck and shoulders from poor sleep or overuse.
In other words, if your body is feeling bruised and bumped up from that ever-intensive truck driver life, then Stiff Mother Trucker Pain Relief Cream is the answer to what you are asking. Just ask the crew at A&E Shipping Wars. They will let you know.
So go to 18wheeltalk.com/resources and look for Mother Trucker Yoga to find this and many more great products. Most months I could count on one hand the number of times I ate inside the restaurant.
Whoa.
Yeah, I saved a lot of money.
Yeah.
Anyways, so there's a reason behind all the new rules that they've come up with.
What rules?
All the DOT rules about what you can do and lightings and everything.
Hit it.
Lighting problems account for 5 of the top 10 violations found by DOT inspectors on the roadside.
Oh, I believe it.
You know, when you pull into all the roadside stops like Ohio, Interstate 90.
Yeah. Well, if you live in an area where in the wintertime they use salt and all that stuff, it does tend to corrode the connections.
Yep.
So that does play a factor in the lighting.
Yeah. And repairing lighting issues is not always just straightforward because what I was trying to explain
Anyway.
It's a brand new tongue. Sorry, I just got it today.
Oh, my God. It looks so cute on you.
Why, thank you.
Anyways.
The network of onboard sensors is tied into one of the several microprocessors, and they all have very specific voltages and current to operate properly. So if you just plug something else into them, you screw everything up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everything is now run by an ECM, an electronic control module.
Yep.
Old trucks didn't have that.
Yeah, now
they do.
Everything's electronical now.
So
almost
one little
everything.
error on one little thing can foul up the whole truck.
Yep. It's everything's computerized. That's mainly one reason why I got out, because I like to be the guy in control. You know,
especially with my logbook.
When the logbooks are electronic, the brakes are electronic. You know, now they're talking about putting in the automatic emergency braking on trucks. And
they have that. They have it.
They have I know they got the idiot. You know, your lane. You're not in your lane.
It pulls you back into your lane.
Yeah.
That's what my niece was saying.
I told my boss, I said, once I can't control the truck on my own, I'm not driving it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't afford to buy my own truck, so I said, it's time to retire.
Yeah, I had someone tell me, it's okay if I'm on the phone and drifting into someone's lane, the truck will pull itself back into my lane. I'm like, what the are you talking about?
You can swear. It's okay. We're explicit.
I know, but anyway. So the other thing about lighting that we were talking about, and you brought this up, was the ends on replacement parts aren't the same because it's got to be the right replacement parts because of corrosion.
Right.
Remember?
Yeah.
You explained it better than I am. Because
they have what do you call it? Rubber seals. When you plug them in, some of them have the little rubber seals when you plug them.
Okay.
If you got the right part, it's plug and play.
Okay.
That's the way you plug it in, it lights up, it works, it's good to go. Sometimes you can't take a regular light and replace it with an LED light. It will work, but you're gonna fry something.
Okay.
You're gonna cook it.
But if you snip the end on some wires, like if you have to, rig a wire and put a different end. Like if you're putting a new end on a lamp at home, you can just snip one and put a new end on and
wire it up
and be good. But on
sometimes you can't because
aftermarket parts,
it'll screw up the what do you call it? ECM?
The ECM will be messed up and it'll corrode the wires faster.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the part you brought it all up.
Sorry.
I just typed it.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Anyway. We got off track bad, but
You had to tell that damn story.
which one?
You know which one.
Oh,
The one that gets your blood cooking a little.
you mean the
Yeah,
got the
that
truck repoed?
Yeah, that one.
I didn't tell the whole thing.
Chrome or not to chrome, motherfucker.
I didn't. You just
What? I did. I know. I went all the way through, and I was like, "Oh, I can't go an hour without swearing. I got to cuss at least once."
Patrick. What am I going to do with you?
You gonna love me?
Okay, fine.
Is there anything else you want to tell anybody?
Have a great day.
Awesome. Hey, don't forget to follow us on social media.
And join our
We're-
fan club.
We're at 18 Wheel Talk everywhere: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter,
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. Did I miss anything?
And a partridge.
We're
in a
on.
pear
We're
tree.
18 Wheel Talker on the Twitch.tv. We haven't done anything on that in a while, but it's there. You can check out some of the stuff. We have a fan club. Go to 18wheeltalk.com. Just a little bit down the page there, it says join the fan club.
Why would they want to join the fan club?
Well, you got to be a part of the fan. You got to be a part of the club to be in it to win it. You know, if we're doing a giveaway, if you're in the club, you're automatically entered.
Can I show them some of the cute little things that we
No.
got?
Nope.
Please.
No, they got to join the fan club. And after you join the fan club, go over to Facebook and join
the
the
page.
fan club group.
Mhm.
That's the only way you're going to find out what we're giving away. Okay?
Mhm.
Is that fair?
Yep.
You can post pictures on the fan club group page. It's a private group, but you got to be a part of the fan club. So go sign up.
We have privacy unless you join us.
Got a couple of questions. So got to be a part of the fan club to be a part of the fan club group. Because we built it to be a community for the fans of the 18 Wheel Talk podcast show.
A community of the fan club?
Yeah.
So it's a fan club.
Yeah.
Is it a fan club of the 18 Wheel Talk podcast
You
show?
betcha.
So it is a fan club.
Yes.
Okay, and a fan club
for everybody that likes the 18 Wheel Talk podcast show.
I'm just making sure they know we have a fan club.
We have a fan fucking club that they need to join and be a part of the. If they enjoy this show, they will be a part of the fan club.
Patrick,
Janet,
say goodbye, Patrick.
goodbye.
It's time to end the show. I think they know we have a fan club.
We got a
now.
goddamn fan club, and if you ain't a part of it, you can't be in a contest. Nah, 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 nah.
Okay, so now you've heard Patrick Adult. I hope everybody enjoyed the show today. Be sure and listen. Be sure and go everywhere to follow us, like us, join us.
And if you got a question, a
Ask
suggestion, go to 18wheeltalk.com, click on that Ask the Show, and if we use it, we will be in touch, and we got prizes we're going to give people.
Yes, he is touched in the head, so he's definitely
Listen
in touch.
now. Listen, you won't be disappointed if we use your suggestion. We're definitely going to give you a shout out on the show, and we're going to be in touch. We're going to say, hey, where do we send the new
Whatever
blank?
it is. Where do we send this?
Yeah, it could be big, could be little. You never know.
Could be
It'll be
exciting.
something. And you're going to be like, oh, hey, that was cool. All I had to do was suggest something to the show, and bam, look what I got.
That's right. Hasta la pasta.
All right, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. We hope you learned something today.
In between the humor. Bye, everybody.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
18 Wheel Talk. Thank you for joining us today. We greatly appreciate it. Be sure to stop by 18wheeltalk.com and check out all the affiliates mentioned in the program today. Remember, we're here coaching generations of drivers while guiding them on their path to success. We'll catch you on the flip side.
Sparked a revolution.
So tell me, do you have one of those change buckets in your vehicle for fancy cafes?
Yeah.
And are you looking for a way to help support the show and just don't know how?
Well, we have great news for you. It is super easy, and you can do it for as little as $3 a month. Yes, that's right, $3 a month. That means for the cost of a cup of coffee, you could support the show for a month. And if you order one of those foo-foo frappy thingamabobs with all those flavors and whipped cream and sprinkles on top, you could support the show for about 6 months.
Isn't that amazing? saving you calories from that frappy thingamabob with all those flavors and whipped cream and sprinkled things on top, and help out the show. What's not to like about that?
So to do so, just go to 18wheeltalk.com/support, and you will see just how easy it is to support the show. And don't forget to pick out your fan emoji while you're there. That's 18wheeltalk.com/support.